I want you to repeat
Just
what
be
you
natural.
just said. Oh, wait. Say that again.
Just be natural.
Like a deer in the headlights. Okay. This is Taylor. Oh, wait, no. That's
Wait.
Taylor
Who are you?
and Melissa. And what did you say you wanted to get a look for YouTube?
A YouTube vlog.
So where are you from?
So you might not even recognize her next time.
Taylor, where are you from?
I'm from England.
Can you say a few words for us? No. Melissa, you're from...
New York City.
Oh.
New York City.
No, not New Jersey?
We lived in New Jersey, but I was born and raised in New York.
I'm sure that's a long story.
And then, Taylor, where you were living in Scotland?
Yes.
And...
That's where we met each
Yes.
other in Scotland. And I brought him home with me, and we've been together 30 years.
I think you're home with me.
Wait, Taylor, what are you going to say?
I don't know.
I want him to say
I'm
something.
freezing. I don't know.
You're freezing right now?
No, I mean...
Oh, you're
freezing on
It's
my-
August. He's like a deer in the headlights. It's
I know.
okay. You have your cap and your sunglasses and your goatee.
Oh, no.
They're
Your
protecting you.
disguise
This
on.
is a new look. Everybody, let's vote on the new look.
I like the new look. I don't normally go for facial hair, but Brian's kind of changed my mind a little bit. Okay, so Brian is going to talk about what are you talking about?
Just a ton of solar crap. I might ramble for a while, but it's for him to understand when he goes forward to try and build and buy things. It's for me to walk through my own stuff just so I understand it. Every time I say it, it helps me understand it too. So I'm just going to talk.
Oh, okay. So I forgot.
I believe that. If you say it out loud, it stays in the head better.
So they're from the big. They moved from the big city, and now they live out in sort of between Vincent and St. David. And you're trying to. You're on a generator now, and you're trying to do. And you're going to start. What is the name of your channel?
Opt Out AZ.
Opt Out AZ.
We're going to change the name.
No.
No, it's good.
Oh, you already have that name, don't you?
Yeah.
I was going to say, somebody has that. You have that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's us. Opt
There's
Out
so
AZ.
many people doing it now. There's so many homesteaders and stuff. Anyway, okay. All right. Go ahead, Brian.
Oh, okay.
Permission. You have the talking stick.
So I have a bunch of papers here that I've written a bunch of information down. But this one here, the first thing I'm going to talk about is I wrote some stuff down just so that I've talked to a lot of people about my system and how to do the things I want to do. And before you talk to anybody about your system, you have to kind of tell them what it is, right? Because there's so many different ways this stuff can be built and with so many different pieces and everything. So, and capacities and capabilities and all that stuff. So I wrote down my stuff. So what'll be good for you is I've actually put some prices on here of what this stuff costs. Now, obviously there's a million little parts and pieces in between all this stuff, but these are the big ticket items. Right. So if you want to know what does a system cost in parts, this is pretty darn close. Now there's wire and all that stuff too that costs money, but these are the big things. So this will get you in the neighborhood of what it really costs to buy all the pieces. Okay. And it's nice to talk about what these pieces are and kind of what order they go in and what function they serve. Yeah. So I haven't even turned mine on.
That you clip the board. Take two.
So what are you talking about, Brian?
Hang on.
I can't believe how hot it is already.
Yeah, the sun is, it's tough to get a good spot.
It's like by 10 o'clock, it's like you're done.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, get under there with Brian if you want to get in the shade. Or over here, you can squeeze in.
I kind of wish those extra panels were on here because it'd be a bigger shade, but we're
Okay.
using them.
Okay, what are you going to talk about?
Hang on.
The panels.
The panels.
Hang on. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Hang on. That should be the mill.
Who's
Watch
Cecil?
where you walk. There's a bunch of stuff everywhere.
Who's Cecil B. DeMille?
Oh.
Is he an actor? I can't believe.
No.
I know.
He was,
Didn't he?
Big
Did he
movies.
own one of the studios at one point? Or?
Yeah, I think he ran in the 20s or the silent films or the 20s and 30s. Yeah, he's famous. Or maybe he was a director too.
He's a director. He did all the Moses movies. He did Moses.
Silent films? Oh no.
No.
I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Yeah, he did the Charles
Yeah,
Manson.
right.
Yeah.
Sunset
Oh, I'm
Boulevard.
ready.
That was a great.
Well, he
Have you
didn't do
ever seen Sunset Boulevard?
All right.
That's
Hang
a
on.
great
Hold this.
Pam's just
Uh-oh.
gonna walk back and forth.
If
Yeah.
you do like that.
Yeah.
Do that.
Okay.
Can you just like do it in a nutshell, a long story short type deal for me?
Shush.
So now when I give you the audio track and I give you the video, you take that and that's how you synchronize it. Do you know what I mean?
Oh. All
So
right.
you just look for that,
okay.
and you listen to the clap, and that's how you can sync it. And once you do it once, it's good for the whole thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm done? I'm good?
Yes. So let's roll.
Oh.
So we're rolling.
Okay. So
Oh, with
it
that
might be hard to
stick.
tell,
Yeah,
depending
just for
on
a second
where
I
you're
looked
pointing and
down
everything,
and
but
it
I'm
kind of
behind the
freaked me
panels
out.
here.
Oh, I think he's finally.
So let's talk panels a little bit. So
Let's talk panels.
as I said before, so we've got, there are actually 9 panels here.
Yeah.
We've got 6 more down there that we're using. These are not hooked up to anything, although they're, the sun's hitting them. Here's the wires from one of them. These particular panels are 305 watts apiece. So we talked about watts equals volts times amps, right? So you've got to find a way to feed the power that these are collecting, the electricity these are collecting from the sun, to your system.
Yeah.
So you can connect your panels in 2 different ways, in series or in parallel, depending on whether you connect the positives and the positives to each other or the positives and the negatives to each other. So each panel has a positive and a negative lead coming off of it on these connectors. These are, I'm going to cheat a little bit. These are actually T4 connectors. They're proprietary, I think, to this particular panel, but they are compatible with, or at least they claim they're compatible with, something called an MC4 connector, which is a very common connector. And I actually have a couple here. They say they're compatible. So what I'm going to do is, these leads, they're only 2 or 3 feet long or whatever they are. So what I have to do to connect these all together and send them to the system is I'm going to take these, I bought these connectors, and I'll get my own wire, and I'll get it for however long it needs to be, and I'll use this connector to connect that wire to that and connect to this, and then go wherever I need to go.
How do you connect the wires to those connectors?
There's a little kit.
Oh, okay.
There's a little kit basically with little crimp stuff and all that.
Okay.
So I bought that on Amazon for like $30 or something.
Okay.
And it has 6 connectors, and I need 5 for. It actually has 6 of each, plus and minus, and I need 5. So, but back to the watts equals volts times amps thing, right? Mm-hmm. So these are 305 watt panels. Well, every panel has specifications of kind of what voltage and what amperage it is at, right? It operates at. So these particular panels, and there are different, I don't want to get too far into it, but I mean, they're at different conditions. They'll give you different numbers at different conditions. One condition is for voltage, they'll talk about open circuit, which is basically if you just connected it to itself and there was no load on it.
I've got a silly question.
Yeah.
Before you do that, do you connect all these together? With
We
these?
will.
We will. These all connect together with these things.
They sort of.
Okay.
We're about to talk about how they connect together. Right. Yes and no.
Okay.
So the voltage on these is at there's V. I just said open circuit. The other one is MP, which is I don't know what MP actually stands for, but it's basically standard operating conditions. Nominal conditions. This panel happens to be 32.7 volts. And its amperage is 9.33. If you took those 2 numbers and multiplied them together, you'd get the 305. So that's your watts equals volts times amps.
Okay.
So what we're going to do when we connect these things together, the way we choose to connect them together is to take those voltages and amperages up, but take them up in a way, as I said, when I have all 15 panels, there'll be, so each panel is 305 watts. When I have all 15 panels, there'll be 4,500 watts.
Okay.
But the question is, how is that number of watts broken into volts and amps?
Yeah.
Because as I told you, my charge controller can only handle 60 amps, 150 volts. So you can't just willy-nilly connect them any way you want. If you connect it, so series and parallel connections do different things to the voltage and amperage. The watts is the watts, and if you take 2 panels at 300 watts, together they're going to be 600 watts.
Yeah.
It just adds, right?
Yeah.
But what doesn't just add is the volts and the amps that you get out of that connection, depending on how you connect them. If you connect them in series, one thing happens. If you connect them in parallel, a different thing happens. Yeah. So, what we've chosen to do is when you connect panels, and this applies to batteries too, when you connect devices in series, you actually add the voltage, but the amperage stays the same. And this is all, there's a million videos on this, which maybe you've seen. But it starts to make sense when you think about how the system really works. When you connect panels in series, and series, by the way, is, I want to get this right. I can't remember which is plus to minus, and one is plus to plus, minus to minus. A closed utility trailer. The reason it's important it's closed is because none of this stuff can get wet. You don't want it to get too dusty, dirty, right? I mean, this is electronic equipment, so you know, you don't want to just put this outside or put it in something that's not really well sealed up. You know, you want to protect it from water, dirt, temperature as much as you can. This does get pretty hot, unfortunately. Thank you.
Right. And so this is our recliner is over here because we don't want any mice getting to them. And that's also the bottom of our bed is the bottom part of our Tempur-Pedic bed. I sure miss that. It has like a thing that plugs in.
It folds and it vibrates. And
it's like a hospital bed.
We can't use it in the trailer, so.
We have a Tempur-Pedic, but we don't have the fancy one like you guys.
All right.
It's pretty sweet, but we don't get to use it right now.
It is sweet. I miss that day too.
Oh, so I was not filming. The whole time I was just filming, and I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. So now I'm doing take 2, and this is what Derek,
drinking water?
handyman, did all this with another guy named Liam, and so this is what these are all the batteries, and I think they came out of a Tesla, right, Brian? A Tesla car batteries, and then I'm guessing that this is the converter box, inverter, outverter.
I don't know which one you're pointing at, but
one of these is the converter box, correct?
Inverter.
So I don't really know much at all, but Brian's explaining it to Taylor and I'm trying to learn a little bit, but anyway, this is what tells us our usage or what we have left, and I can't really see it. So anyway, Brian always comes out and checks it. That way we know how much energy we have, and he usually tells me, I'll say, can I use the microwave? And he says no. But then he'll start the generator sometime, and then I can, hey, what's that box?
This is
combiner
the combiner
box. Oh, I got it right. So then he'll start up the generator, and once he starts up the generator, then I can use the microwave all I want to. Why are you taking it apart?
So we can see. Okay, so.
Do you want your tripod?
No, thank you.
I'm gonna go sit over there. I don't do that.
All right. So.
I'll be right there.
So we were just up at the panels. Yeah. And we talked about, so after the panels, when you string them all together the way you want to string them together, you bring them to their first stop is the combiner box.
Yeah.
Because in my case now I've got 5 sets of wires, pluses and minuses, right? That need to turn into one. That happens at the combiner box. That's what this is. It's not much to it, really. So it gives you breakers. So it gives you protection and shut-off ability for each of the strings. In my case, we only have 2 working strings at the moment, 2 strings of 3.
Okay.
The numbers are the same as I talked about up there. It's just 2 strings instead of 5 strings.
Yeah.
So we have 2 breakers. So this is how it happens. So imagine, this pipe right here is actually the wires that are coming from the panels. So imagine what's coming out of right here.
Yeah.
Imagine this was 5 sets of wires if we were up at the solar mount, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have 5 sets of, here we have 2 sets of plus and minus, so 4 wires.
Yeah.
Up there we'll have 5 sets of plus and minus.
Yeah.
So we'll actually, when we do this for the 5 strings, we'll actually bring in each string into its own little knockout in the bottom of this thing, and you need a little connector there and everything to make that happen. So basically in 5 different places in the bottom of this thing, 2 wires will be coming in, a plus and a minus for each string. So the minus that comes in lands on this bus bar, the negative bus bar. I don't know how much you can read everything that's in there, but it says PV negative, photovoltaic negative, panel negative. So the negatives land on that bus bar, and essentially that's where your combination happens. That's where the combining happens. So when I bring 2 sets of wires to this bus bar, once they hit that bus bar, I can leave that bus bar with 1 wire, which is what I will do. So my 2 just became 1. That's the combining that happens. So
where's the 1 coming out?
So there, you'll notice there's actually 3 wires connected to the PV negative.
I see it.
2 of them are coming in,
and
one of them is going out. And we'll, if we follow them, actually it goes inside the trailer. It goes through this hole here.
Okay, got you.